On today's episode of the Command Center podcast, Merry Christmas from the Command Center crew. And we get a special guest. Sean Springs steps in for a minute for Fred Smoot.
Yeah.
We do an Eagles recap. Fred, are we heavyweight contenders now?
Yes, sir.
And then we got to talk about that final drive. Jaden Daniels is special and risk it for the biscuit. And we got a very tight Falcons preview because we're leading into the great bake-off. This Fred didn't bake a damn thing. All that starts right now. Welcome into the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Sean Springs and Santana Moss.
It is I.
We are presented by Cognier Technology. Secure today, shape tomorrow. Merry Christmas, Cognier, and Merry Christmas to you. It's fun to be able to spend this holiday. We got this great background with the snow, feeling festive. Sean, you feeling festive for Christmas?
I feel real festive. The snow, I love the snow in the background, man. Holiday season is here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Merry Christmas to you guys. Sean, any plans for Christmas?
Nah, man, just spend time with the family, man. That's all you do around the holidays. Just really appreciate the family, be thankful for it, man. That's it, man. Maybe I'm thinking about, I got to give a shout out. Thinking about maybe possibly going out to the Rose Bowl for January 1st game.
Weird flex.
State, Oregon, but we ain't going to talk about that today. Keep going.
And Tanner, what you got?
Family. You know, I'm going to
go down to Miami?
Yeah, I'm going to go down. I'm going to jet down and see the kids and spend a few days down there, you know, right before work this weekend. So.
And what do we get the kids? He's got older kids.
Yeah.
So what's the present for the kids?
Well, my older kid's going to be down in Miami because my son's they're down there. The two younger ones, man, you can't buy nothing for teenagers. You got to give money, man. You got to give teenagers money. You got to give them money and gift cards. That's the only thing they accept.
I love it. And then
money, same thing. You know, my youngest is 8, so I have to kind of, you know, I guess you can say, don't forget that, you know, all the things I did with the others, you know, when they was that young, I got to do with her, brother. Sage is the one that's like, Dad, she had a whole list. And her older sister, good thing that she's of age where she can just handle it for me. She called me like, Dad, Sage have a list. Do you want me to get the toys? Order
that's
them.
Cool.
So she ordered everything. And with that being said, her doing that, she wants to. You know what I mean? So I have to break her off, make sure she good.
Hey,
so
Santa's
she can,
helping.
You know what I mean? So it's all good, man.
Oh, my goodness. All right,
my youngest son, he didn't, you know, I don't want to cut you off. My youngest son didn't tell me nothing yet.
Oh.
And I'm like, bro, Christmas in a couple of days. But we'll deal with him.
Isn't that so funny? Like, they just kind of assume it just magically happens.
Yeah.
No planning ahead of time. All right, well, I do think in being in the Christmas spirit, Christmas did come early for the Washington Commanders, obviously with a huge win over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Big win.
And, man, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome being down there on the field, awesome being down there on the sideline. And you know what's funny, though, is sometimes Eagles fans, they kind of get after you a little bit.
Hey.
They get in the comments, and it is the Christmas spirit. And we love fans. We love football fans, love all of them. But when you get in the comments and you're kind of delivering a little bit of mess, like, we got to put a little coal in your stocking.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
And just remind you that this is, you know, you got to play the games, guys.
Yeah.
So, Chris Dior, 4098. That's a heck of an intro there. Okay. 31-16 Eagles. Trust me, Eagles will clench the East Sunday and send a message to the NFC. Sean, what message do you think they sent?
They sent a message that, hey, listen, there's a real team, and it's right down the road, and it's in Washington. and don't count your presents before you get them.
That's exactly right. All right?
Don't count the eggs before they hatch. I think one of the things about it, man.
You probably love that one.
Yeah, I love that because you know I'm big on just pump your brakes. You know,
relax.
What I mean? Let them play the game. You could be a fan,
right?
You can root for your team. We're not against that. You got to like somebody, but pump your brakes, man. You don't play. All you can do is cheer.
That's exactly right. And I think this next one kind of encapsulates that really well. Kazin 29X says, y'all aren't on the Eagles level. Swept this Sunday. And so I will say this. I don't think the beginning part of this is wrong. I think the Eagles roster is a little bit better, but you have You have to play the game. You have to do it. Like, we can't just give them the win.
Yeah.
And Herm Edwards' voice.
This is why we play the game.
You know what I'm saying, Sean? Right? Like, you got to do it.
Well, for that fan, the Commanders are who we thought they were. Winners.
Winners. That's exactly right. And then Nasir Jones, XJ2IL. whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like a code password. Log into email password or something.
I used to think the Dallas was the only delusional team, but I think the Commanders are the worst delusional team in the league. Shake my head.
Well, see, you have to understand, regardless of what he want to talk about for this year, we don't one team in this division. When they was pretty good a couple of years ago, we the one took them down.
Oh, yeah.
So, at the end of the day, we're not delusional. We just understand that for some odd reason, we match up well against you guys. Even last year when we had, our guys taking sacks, we was the one team that gave y'all a run for your money. So I get it when you're a fan and you're in your moment.
Yeah.
Trust me, the Eagles are flying high this year. They were. But guess what? Like I said before, let these guys play the game before you go out there, bumping your gun.
And I think when you look at like kind of the breakdown of the game, like the Eagles had an opportunity to win the game. The Commanders had 5 turnovers. What was it? 2 picks, 3 fumbles.
Yeah.
And usually you don't win football games
At all.
when you're negative in the turnover battle like that.
At all.
And I think a lot of things played into that, right?
Yep.
Kenny Pickett's playing quarterback.
Yep.
He's not as effective as Jalen Hurts. Their third down efficiency. Can you look up the third down efficiency for the Eagles real quick?
Yep.
I think it was like 3 for 16.
Yeah.
And so that's how the Commanders stay in it. And then they hit a couple explosive plays.
Yeah, they was 3 for 16.
And they couldn't quite. The Eagles couldn't close the door, and the Commanders, made plays
when they needed to make plays.
Yeah, when they make
And
plays.
I think back to the explosive play to Diami out of the end zone, the explosive touchdown to Terry, and that felt to me like the shift in the game.
Yeah. We talked about last week coming into this game, regardless of who was at quarterback, how stout this team was as a whole. You know what I mean? From all layers on the defense, offensively, what they got going on. It was just one of those games where we was like, man, look, they had player for player. We can't match them player for player. But as far as a team, like their team is pretty good, but we're right in the thick of it. And when you in this division, we was amongst teams in this division. We beat each other up.
Right.
All that stuff go out the door. The records, high flying, running back and quarterback, all that stuff go out the door. If you watched that game the other day, besides Barkley doing what he did, those couple of big runs, our defense was in the backfield the whole game.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason why Jalen Hurts had to do what he did, because he couldn't throw the ball where he wanted to, so he had to take off, because guess what? We was giving him them opportunities.
Right.
But with that, with you being a quarterback in this league, we know that's the reason why everybody harps on guys who are able to do both dual threat quarterbacks, because they don't want them to take the risk of being injured.
Hit.
And that's the risk you know, that's what you get paid when you go out there and say, hey, I'm going to risk it because this is all I have. And I think, I've heard the barking about, Jalen Hurts would have finished the game, it'd have been different. But your defense did. They finished. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we made enough plays. We possessed the ball. We moved the chains, and we put up points. And that's why we was able to be in the game to end up winning the game.
One thing we always talk about with this team all year long, we've been hearing it, was the word brotherhood.
Yeah.
And I think that was shown yesterday. Mm-hmm. When you think about 4 touchdowns, the kids had 2, Crowder had 2. Those weren't guys I can't recall having.
They weren't on your bingo card for touchdowns?
They were not on my fantasy pick to score points. So, Jalen Hurts went down, but we had guys step up.
Yeah.
That weren't guys that everybody would have said gangbangers or gangbusters, so it's not like Jalen, and they complain like the Commanders, our defense is going to kill them. But, hey, man, you got this.
Yeah.
You got guys who want to play. You got guys who want to play for each other. And some of the plays, like obviously Jalen made some great plays with his legs, off script, scrambles and stuff. The fourth and
11, fourth and 4. There was a lot of plays.
Third, a long third down. But the fact is, man, there's just like, and they say, well, Jalen went down. Eagles still has Saquon and pretty good receiving core.
Yeah.
Our defense stepped up and made plays, and that's killed us in the past. We couldn't get off the field when we needed to. They made plays when we needed to and got off the field when we needed to.
Yeah, you said 2 things there that I think are really interesting. One is the brotherhood and kind of the mentality of this team. Like, honestly, as a fan, when B-Rob fumbled that second time, I was like, game's over.
Yeah.
21-7.
It's a wrap.
Like, I don't know how they kind of figure this out. They're backed up on that drive. Jalen, big explosive, then big explosive to Terry. 14 to whatever, right? Defense goes down. It's 28-14 coming out in the third quarter. You're like, man, how are they going to figure this out?
Yeah.
But they just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you're talking about there, like with that brotherhood, right? And also, I think guys like stepping up. Like, I'm glad you brought up Ozzie. I'm glad you brought up Crowder, because both those guys, Crowder was a 2 or 3 for most of his career. Yeah. Ozzie was a 2 years ago in Philly. And you see their skill sets, right? You see their savvy. Like on the last touchdown of the game, I don't know if a younger player,
he wouldn't have broke it off. Yeah, broke it off and recognized it was cover 2 in the middle. That was a very smart play,
and
that a lot of people don't know.
One of the things that Crowder mentioned in the post game is that he ran that same play and saw that coverage, that same coverage in practice, and got the same pass. So he was like, "Hey, I don't even get this pass. It's supposed to go to Zach. It's supposed to go to the tight end, but." Jayden, Jayden threw it to me, on Friday practice. So when I saw it again, I'm like, well, I might get this ball. Perfect time, and Jayden was on point and say, hey. And Jayden said the same thing. Like, I saw that, and I threw it to him Friday. So that just goes to show you having a guy who knows what he's supposed to do, a savvy vet, and a guy who been out of football for almost 2 to 3 months. Yeah. I'm
no, Dan said that in his presser.
Like, wow. You know what I mean?
I think he said 3 months, because I think he was healthy week 3, I want to say.
Wow. So he's a healthy scratch, and I remember like every game, it seemed like me and him get a chance to walk past each other, and I'm dapping, I give him a pound, and he give me that look like, man, I should be out here playing. Right. But he stayed ready. You know what I mean? And that's the type of guys that Dan has on his team. He want the character. Character is key. You know what I mean? Because you get another guy in here who feel like he's being, treated badly, and he might not prepare, or he wouldn't have been ready for that moment. He might just check out, say, hey, man, I'm here, but I ain't playing. So I'm happy to see a guy get opportunity and step up and come up big.
Yeah, that's big.
And then I just saw in the comments right now, people are asking where Fred is. And Fred will be on his way. Sean's in here filling in. Fred was a little scared, from what I understand, about the bake-off later. So he had to get that prepped. And
he was probably in Wegmans trying to find out the best cake.
Jason said they saw him at Harris Teeter. So we'll see. We'll see what the packaging says, and see if Anna can beat him. But I think, when we're talking about this game, one thing that we cannot not talk about is Jaden Daniels, because I really felt like kind of midway through the third quarter, it was just like, Jayden, go get it. You know what I'm saying? And, he had 5 touchdown passes. That's the most touchdown passes since Mark Rippon in 1991. Now, Mark Rippon had 6, and I do think it's kind of
Mark Rippon a legend of the game, too?
He was there.
He was there in the fitting of legend of the game.
We were talking about that in the production meeting right before you got here. Like, how crazy, what are the chances that happens?
And not only that, and I don't mean to cut you off, Mark Rippon had guys like Art Monk, he had Ricky Sanders, he had Gary Clark, he had Ernest Biner, he had Ricky Irvins,
the Hogs,
B. Mitch. No, I'm saying, like, look at the team that he had when he did that.
Some people think that's the best team in the history of the NFL.
So, I mean,
that Super Bowl team is considered the top 3. Yeah.
So,
pretty good.
I mean, hats off to Ripken and those guys, because you can't fault them for being on that team, but it just shows you what Jayden is doing as a young man in this game, as a rookie, with the guys that he have. And look, I can't discredit the guys we have, but the names don't add up. You see what I'm saying? You don't have that much star power that Ripken had back in those days.
When you watch that game, and everybody coming into it is like, hey, Philly's a true test, right? Yeah, you can beat.
Did you feel that way? I didn't get to talk to you. Did you feel that same way or no?
I felt like anytime you see a team that's 12-2, or Detroit, Philly, Minnesota teams, right now, you know in AFC, obviously there's some teams, but when you saw the way Jayden played yesterday, that was one of those moments where you'd be like, all right, he's been playing great all year. I think it's 9-time rookie of the week or whatever. But that was Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, like I played with Tom Brady one year. I saw something like.
Did you really?
Yeah, I played with Tom Brady one year.
No, dude, you're just full of like subtle flag. We're going to the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Played with Tom Brady. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But when you see that, that's letting you know that, like, okay, he was good. We got something special.
Yeah, and
we have something special with him.
And like I went back and watched all the throws this morning, and it wasn't easy for him. No. You know what I'm saying? Like he had, and I think his process was pretty good. Like I actually thought he played better from a technical standpoint versus New Orleans. But when you look at just like the baller mode, Like, dude,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Baltimore against the Eagles. It's one thing against the Saints.
Just compare the last time we played the Eagles in Philly, and you watch how timid he was at times.
He was banged up.
Obvious that short week,
great point, by the way.
being banged up a little bit. All that stuff stood out. And then when you watch, and we just talked about this coming off the bye. I was like, I want to see the old Jayden. I want to see the guy that used his legs when he got into trouble. And we saw just that. We saw a guy that went out here and say, look, man, if I don't have anything, now it's time to tap into doing what I do and be special.
Yeah, and I think, we mentioned the 2 explosive plays. That really was a tipping point.
Right.
The 2 think about it. Like, again, there's 5 turnovers in the game, so you need to be aggressive stealing possessions back.
Yeah.
And you end up stealing. You steal a possession on 4th and 4.
Yes.
The 4th and 11 was
incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That's incredible.
Incredible, but like just the gall of Dan Quinn to go for it is kind of insane.
Yeah, I think at that point he was like, man, hey,
we got him.
Yeah, man, we have no choice.
We had no. I mean, this game, it was almost getting out of hand. You know what I mean? So
but you've seen guys not do that though.
Yeah,
to that point.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You've seen guys like maybe catch up, but that was big, man.
No, that was a really great adjustment by him. And again, we talked about OZ, we talked about Crowder. Someone else we have to talk about. And one thing before we leave on the Jaden Daniels thing is that was his 4th game with a 90-plus QBR rating.
Yeah.
And producer Jason does a great job kind of researching. Yeah. You know how many, if you had to guess, Sean, because you weren't here for the meeting, if you had to guess, how many do you think C.J. Stroud had last year? 90-plus QBR games.
I would say 5.
5. What if I told you he had 0? And he was rookie.
Really?
How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
That was my same reaction.
None.
Because you're just like,
because CJ's numbers were like at one
crazy.
time they were talking about MVP of the league. He was on fire.
And that's the same way we were talking about with Jayden this year. You know what I mean? And what's even crazier? What's even crazier? He acknowledged that coming into this league, like I want to do what CJ did last year.
Right.
So I know he have a couple more games and to play, but let's check that box because he did that.
All right. Do I? Oh, sorry. That's my bad. I was confused because Fred just came in.
No,
you see what he do?
Like a phantom from the Christmas Carol just popped in here.
So I was looking for Potter and to see if you was because I heard that you woke up and said I got to make this cake and I'm a little late.
Now I will say he probably did a pie. No, Smoot, he did a pie.
No, I didn't even make everything I wanted to make, man. It was a bad night.
Bad night.
Oh, come on, man.
Bad night for
you gonna lose, man.
So when
I woke up, when I woke up, I panicked.
Yeah.
9:45. What just happened? And then what I realized was my electricity in my house turned out, so my phone didn't charge up. My alarm didn't turn on.
So we talked about how I ended up getting this job.
Yeah.
Was because of Fred. Fred didn't show up to something, and then I had to come in.
Yeah.
And this feels like, this smells.
It smells.
God.
So somebody get hot.
Maybe Sean's getting hot.
Because if this Fred Smoot, he's rarely dark.
He looked good, though. He looked good.
And I feel really lucky that Sean was able to come in with Tana because they got the Players Club coming up, which comes out, I forget which day.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. Eve.
Is it Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
Well, check.
It's coming this week.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you won't even have to worry about us.
We don't even know.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that he's able to be here because that show's great. Emmy nominated, all that stuff. Hasn't lost a beat since you've added Sean.
100%.
It's a great show.
Oh, yeah, it's professional. Hey, we killing it right now, man. Killing it, man.
Professional.
I saw you on
Yeah, we did that with just me in London at first. You know what I mean?
Oh, so Sean is.
I'm the one that's going to
he added.
We're gonna win it. They're gonna win it with Sean.
It's like adding the Brandon Moss.
Hey, Sean, thanks for covering down, man.
He added to the sauce.
You know what? You've been filling in for me for years. That's great.
Fill in Frank.
Be
nice to Sean, man.
Hey, that's my guy, man.
See you, Sean.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you, bro.
Hey,
Appreciate
that's
you,
my guy,
Bluefoot.
man. Way to fill in for Frank.
Appreciate you, Bluefoot. We was getting a little nervous there, man. We know Fred was over there cooking, trying to.
No, you know what? I didn't get to do what I want to do. I'm not finna even do
you
that.
lost. You finna be on 2.
I'm most definitely finna be on 2. Tanner, you right about that, dog.
Be on 2.
You right about that. Merry Christmas to everybody.
I can smell all the baking you were doing last night.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's good. So so right before that awkward transition because like you just came in like rising from the dead over there.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
We see.
Terry. Let's talk about Terry real quick. So he's the first Washington player with 5 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons, and he's tied for the most receiving touchdowns with 12.
Yeah.
And again, like there's a couple guys that have that 12 touchdowns, but I don't know, man. Like I knew he was going to be more productive this year because what we saw from training camp, but I don't know if I thought I was like I don't know if he's going to be able to get this level.
Tanner, why did I tell you I didn't play wide receivers?
Because it's too dependable on
other
offensive
factors.
line, the running back, the quarterback. You need too many people.
Yeah, you need so many people to do what you do good.
Trust me, I wish I would have got that memo when I was young.
And Terry is just like Tanner, where he just had so many people step in, do their thing, and guess what? Kept his damn mouth closed. Kept his I'm looking forward. Whatever happens, happens. And now he got a legit quarterback. I'm not shocked that he doing special things because if I'm a special quarterback, I'm gonna go to the special wide receiver I got, and that special wide receiver is Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, hats off to what Terry has been doing. I mean, I think it's tremendous for a guy just to see that so many people want to critique, what caliber of number one,
receiver he
is and all this other stuff, and he just go out there and get the job done. So I'm loving what he's doing. I'm his biggest fan. I'm one of his biggest fans. I know I'm probably not his biggest fan. I'm pretty sure that family is cheering that Scary Terry chant. I mean, they probably can't get enough of it. But what I want to say is, arguably, man, look, if you really want to be technical about it, that first year he almost had 1,000 yards his rookie season. Yeah, so he would have had 6 basically. You know what I'm saying? This guy could have had 6,000 yard seasons on a team that has had a revolving door of quarterbacks come through here and haven't had that best of that good of a run game behind them. One of the things about receivers
and offensive line,
and offensive line. One of the things about receivers, if you're not running the ball well, because that's one of the things that I had that handicapped me a lot. That's why we didn't have to throw the ball.
Y'all ran the ball well
because we ran the ball well. When I was in New York, I had Curtis Martin. When I was here, we had Porters and a slew of other guys.
Alfred Morris,
you name it, Betts, all those guys. So I'm loving just to see a guy be out there and be so productive with just having mediocre talent around him, and not to say mediocre as far as the players, man, because all these guys on this level, you can play this game. But just when it comes to the names alone, so man, hats off to Terry. And regardless of how you like him and how you feel about him, he's our number one.
Yeah, and he had 5 catches, and obviously the touchdown's the thing everyone's going to remember. But he catches the first ball to start the 2-minute drive. He catches that hitch for the first down in the 2-minute drive where he rolls out of bounds. That was a beautiful route, man. You talk about just like route running nuance at the highest level.
Technician.
Like he's going against Quinyon Mitchell. It looks like it's cover 3 or some type of man match 3 with a middle field safety. He just does a great job pushing vertical, pushing to the blind spot. Quinyon does the turn. His
speed turn.
Nobody there. Yeah. He's running just really
veteran move.
Be careful what you say up to Terry too, because that last game when they played in Philly, everybody, and it wasn't Quinyon's fault. It was the whole Instagram,
everybody
and social media
about what Quinyon
did to about what he did, and he didn't do. And the first thing Logan said, Tanner, he was. I said, Logan, you ain't had to tell me. I watched it too. He never manned up on him. I said, but that's the thing about social media. They take stuff and they see.
They don't
stats.
understand.
They don't watch the whole game as a whole. And Quinyon, he didn't know what he had. He didn't know what he had in store. Terry's one of those guys he never forgets. Yeah. And he came into that game.
Elephant.
You saw when he caught that ball, first thing he did, he got up off the ground and said something to him real quick. Like it was subtle. You know what I mean? Let him know, hey, I'm here.
No, rookie. That's what he told him. Hey, rookie, this is going to be a long day for you.
And then even on the touchdown, man, like he did such a good job stacking him.
Yeah.
Pushing vertical. It looked like he was going to run a dig. And then runs the go. And again, like I actually thought it was a zone coverage that got busted. Yeah. But it's man coverage.
It's man coverage.
And that's just how bad he got beat on the route. And so really Terry did a great job in this game. And honestly, like Diami has the first explosive from the end zone. But that's in my mind, the touchdown that kind of said, hey,
we're here.
We're not out of this yet.
Yeah. It was 21-7 before he scored that touchdown, and it was right back in the thick of things.
And putting up 36 on the number 1 defense in the NFL says everything to me.
Crazy.
That says everything to me. And it wasn't smooth. It wasn't regular. It wasn't what we usually do. But they just found ways to make the plays happen. And that's what good teams do. Yeah. So just to battle the beast like that, I got to give everybody props. Not just Terry. I got to give them wild boars up front. Because going against that defensive line, that was great. I know everybody going to say the running game wasn't there, but sometimes the running game numbers don't need to look effective for them to be effective. And I feel like they ran the ball when they needed to, and they had to, especially on third down. If you look at the third down rushing attempts and the yards per rush, very high compared to first and second down. First and second down didn't get the rush yards we wanted, but the rest of it, I thought they ran the ball well.
And a little bit of that's inflated by the quarterback running the ball. But to your point, Fred, I actually thought, like in the first matchup, there was a lot of pressure, a lot of kind of difficulty in pass pro. And you don't get these shots down the field if your offensive line's not dialed in. Like if you look at the red zone touchdown specifically, a lot of them are. So when you play this. Ready, nerd alert, glasses on. Here we go. When you play these match coverages, what's happening is you're passing stuff off real quick, right? And it makes the read extremely cloudy for the quarterback. But if you can extend the play a little bit, I'm talking like a second, just a second. They're going to bust it, usually, right?
Because we don't know when to hand the ball I mean, hand the player off. And if you can run into zones and run into and do certain routes, it'll mess us up.
See, Travis Kelce and Mahomes, they does it so well. Like that, you can see Travis watching who got him, and then he just sits down. Okay, you finna overrun this, so I'm gonna sit here right now, and they be spot on. So I mean, y'all hit it dead on the head.
And so on the touchdown, for example, to OZ, right? They're running like a corner, a flat, and then an under, right? And so you got to pass that off, right? The corner's got to pass to the corner, and he's got the corner route, and the defensive player has to get depth under the corner. But they don't pass it off correct. OZ's there because the O-line does a great job in pass protection and gives them that second to be like, hey, you didn't match this right. We can get a little bit more depth. I can get the ball where it needs to be. Same thing, honestly, with the Jamison Crowder touchdown on the first play.
The first one, oh my God.
Right? Like they're thinking that it's going to be a little bubble screen to the right, little stutter. They don't get it communicated. You can see DeJean trying to talk to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, doesn't get it. And again, like I thought Cliff deserves a lot of credit.
No, for he deserves a lot.
But the O-line makes those things go. And I think we already talked about this a little bit. Jaden Daniels, man, just was – I said this when Sean was here, not as clean just from like a read and react standpoint as
just
he was.
Raw.
But like just raw.
It just is a couple of plays where they just, to me, they was like, call the play and like, hey, superhero, Jedi 5. That's what I call him, Jedi 5.
Jedi 5.
He is the Jedi that nobody wants to be. Jedi 5 go make a play.
I ain't want to cut you off. I want you to keep going, but I would say he tapped into the Jayden that we saw earlier. You know, and when you're able to say, guess what? I don't have to do this. But I will. But somebody need to make a play. It's gonna be me. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about him, man. He's special, man. I mean, I can't say enough about him. He's very special, bro.
Yeah, very, very special. And again, this was a really nice team win. We talked about the offensive line, talked about the receivers. The running backs didn't have a great day on the ground, but I thought they caught the ball well when they had to. There was a couple where Chris Rodriguez is one-on-one with the defensive end, and they're sliding away, and he gets enough of a piece that. You know, on the OZ touchdown, the long one, right? Yeah. He's 1-0 with the defensive end on the line of scrimmage and pass pro, gets enough time that Jaden's able to get around him, and we're able to get that play. So, like, everyone contributed offensively. Was it the cleanest game?
It wasn't.
Obviously not. And I think you heard that in the presser with Dan post game, and he was like, somebody asked him, it's like, oh, so now how does it feel that you're with the heavy hitters? And Dan was like, "This isn't an arrival game for us, because in an arrival game you got to play good." And he's like, "I don't think we played that good."
And guess what? If you can turn the ball over 5 times and go beat a playoff team, that means with our flaws, with our warts, with our holes in our game, we still found a way. Like I think their resilience. And guess what? Long as Jedi 5 is in the game, don't you get up out your seat. Like if you have learned nothing this year, if the Washington fan, long as this guy's on the field, down 10, down 15, down 5. Don't you leave your seat. You sit right there.
We have had more, the game day live crew, a post game, we have to leave the suite around 7 minutes in the game. And it's always fair. It's always whether we either up or we in the game. We have had more things happen from that walk
you didn't see.
From that walk from the elevator to the hall that, bro, I was sitting there saying, bro, we got to stop this walk. We got to wait till after the game is over because I'm tired of missing something. And then we get in that same spot and the game is won right in front of us watching it on TV. No, it happens almost 2 or 3 times this year at home.
Northwest Stadium.
You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that that end of game scenario here in a little bit with the risk it for the biscuit section. But before we get there, team win, right?
Yeah.
Jayden, tremendous, right? Can't say enough good things about him. I'm sure he's going to be like, I could clean this up. The 2 interceptions, missed throw to Luke McCaffrey, and then kind of forcing the ball over the middle late, which I don't love on that. But again, those
you live and you learn.
He's going to learn from it. That's exactly right. The other side of the football is someone we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I really think, obviously, they get beat up a little bit in the first quarter, run the football. And it's funny because it's guys played out of their gaps early, not being super gap disciplined. You see them get that cleaned up, and basically they shut down Philly's rushing attack.
39 yards, I think Saquon had in the second half.
From there on.
Yeah, so that tells you that they understood the mission. They understood, like, let's go and put this safety in the box. Let's force this quarterback, Kenny Pickett, to beat us out the pocket. And I thought that was the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I can say about Kenny Pickett, he's very accurate, not the strongest arm.
Yeah.
So if you really want him to beat you inside the pocket, all you got to do is put that safety in the box and add somebody to the blitz, and that's what I thought we did.
Yeah, and to your point, Fred, the Eagles had 35 total yards in the second half on 23 plays.
Yeah, wow.
Not just rushing?
Not just
total
rushing.
Yards.
And so everyone says, well, how did they move the ball?
They had more yards with penalties.
I've been saying it was penalties.
They had more yards on penalties.
So let's double click on that because I know our guy, Marshawn Lattimore, everyone's going to have different opinions on how he played.
Oh, no. Let me go and clear that up.
Let's go clear it up.
That's a damn battle. That's He-Man versus Skeletor. That's a battle. Yeah. That's what it looks like. He going to get some, I'm going to get some. Yeah. And it's going to go back and forth. But what A.J. Brown left that game knowing, every time I play Washington, it's finna be this. Yeah. So nobody legitimately wins cleanly in the alpha versus alpha. Yeah. Like, he going to have some cases that, like, think about it. The first 3 plays they went to him, 0, zilch. All right, then they get that slant in the end zone. He gets the touchdown. Then he gets that deep route.
What do you think about his leverage on that? Because on the broadcast, Fletch, he does such a good job. He's like, he should be playing inside leverage on that. But it was plugged.
Well, I thought the linebacker was supposed to.
I've been saying, I thought the safety out of the linebacker was supposed to come down.
Yeah. Fletch said he should be playing inside leverage.
Yeah. I thought he's supposed to be playing head up. Yeah. I would have been playing head up.
He might have been
with a slight outside hand on me to my outside hand. But if I got inside hip, I'm just not trying to get there quick. Yeah. And I think that's what it was. But good route. Good throw, and I can't take that away from him. But a battle gonna go back and forth,
and I think that's what we talked about too, especially with A.J. Brown. Like, even if you're in a good coverage, like he's good enough to make a play. He's a special player. And the other thing I want to ask you about, Fred, because you are our resident defensive expert.
Yeah, is we had an argument,
and we're not.
Damn, they wanted to turn around and look at you like, you see what you did? You see what you did? Damn, they wanted to get on there, but too much was going on in our suite, so I left it alone.
The PIs.
Yeah. Oh my God! Like one legitly, I can say he passed interference. That's fine.
The other one is like A.J. Brown's initiating the contact.
No, but guess what? It happens so much with us defensive backs. A.J. Brown literally got his arm extended. My dude tries to like touch him back, and then they throw.
No, he was actually trying to pull the whole time. If you watched it, because I watched it last night, he was literally off. He was running with his feet off the ground, trying to basically get his hand off.
A.J. Brown's strong,
then, exactly. And then the last minute, you see him aggressively do it when the ball don't hit the ground. The guy throws the flag. Be like, bro, he was holding me the whole time.
But that's what A.J. Brown does. He's a wrestler. He's one of those dudes on that deep route. You see him right at the last second, push off and catch the ball. He does it all the time.
He's we were doing an interview with OZ post game, and he's he was in Philly. Yeah, so he was talking to AJ, and I was waiting for him. I was like, man, AJ's like,
he's huge,
big.
Yeah, no, he's huge. Yeah, he's not. For some reason on the screen, he looks.
Yeah, he doesn't look that
big.
He
looks average.
He got like long arms. He's he's got big back,
big thighs. Like he's built like a running back. So when you play
against,
he's
like 6'2".
Yeah. So you got to be ready to get boxed out when you play him and ready to wrestle. Like everything gonna be hand fighting with him.
And then the second PI, Fred and Tanner, you can comment on this too. I watched it a couple times. I didn't see anything that I'd be like,
so Marshawn had his right hand on his jersey.
I saw that,
He was doing it so well because I've seen that done to myself, and you never get that call.
It was fun to watch on the sideline and fun to watch in the booth, doing the game because him and Marshawn and AJ were talking the whole time. Every play they were talking.
And that's what I like.
And we got to give Marshawn some credit too for getting Buddy tossed out the game, because Marshawn actually went and initiated that scuffle too. He walked into
Chauncey Gardner.
So whoever the safety who got
Chauncey.
Okay, so he walks up into I believe Devontae Smith face, and then the whole Philly team come over there, and then you see somebody sneak in there and punch Marshawn, and then you see our guys come in there, and then before you know it, I don't know if Marshawn, he retaliated last, which I thought he was going to get flagged for it, but they still went at the first guy. So that goes to show you how off these officials are. Normally the second guy get the flag.
But, and so again, and then also Marshawn has that late win on the high cross. Great job on third down. 3rd and 2 on the out. I know that ball's a little late, but hey, it's still a win for him. So great job just competing to the down. And 2 things I want to say. One, I think his attitude. We talked about this.
Is everything.
It's rubbing off on everybody.
Yeah.
And it's giving them an edge in the secondary.
And because he doesn't talk. So if he doesn't talk and you only show me this by action, I'm going to start to absorb some of that.
No, that
it's very Sean Taylor-like. Sean was like that. Sean would talk to an extent, but his actions spoke louder than his words. And believe me, we done had to go in many fights that he didn't start because that's his attitude. I don't like you. You're in a different jersey. And Marshawn has that same
It feels that way. I've never talked to him personally about that, but when you watch him, it comes across that way.
Yeah, and it comes across I'm finna be hyper active no matter what happens. And I knew all the action that he was getting yesterday. I was like, dude, I don't know how long this hamstring gonna hold up.
Oh, man.
I was thinking that in my head because it's like, okay, now, this is back and forth that's going on. And sure, at the end of the game, here it goes where we got to take him out. And that's why I hate soft tissue injuries, man. And I know the fans hate to see it, and they be like, that ain't nothing but a ham. Man, listen to me. Hamstrings don't heal.
They linger.
Not in the season. They do not heal. They get a little better to where you can play, but you don't know which stride that you're going to hit, and it's like, oh, my God.
I think, too, also, one of the things that we fail to realize as athletes, once we feel better, we just jump out there. But there's other things that you have to tweak to make sure that hamstring holds up. So hopefully he has a chiropractor and doing all that stuff too. But he got to make sure he stay in line. But all that stopping and going and falling and that shifts your whole body off, and that could have been a cause too.
And I will say this: they have I've been able to talk to Chad Englehart, the head strength coach. They've got a really nice soft tissue rehabilitation, return to play program. And they do a really good job with that stuff, and I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, obviously, Marshawn in this game has a little bit of a rehab, but they've been pretty good about that throughout the year. The other thing I want to say before we move on is talking about ways they got back in the game. Obviously, explosive plays by the offense. Defense just buckling the chin strap. A lot of tackles for loss. Really good defensively. Also,
serving that rice peel off.
I feel like Philly was so undisciplined in this game with penalties, personal fouls, holdings, false starts. It just.
Do you not think that's because of the interdivision conflict?
Maybe, but I mean,
and emotional. You got to realize the one thing we can say about divisional games. We get outside ourselves emotionally because it's like fighting your brother. It's like, I'm so tired of fighting you, and you know all my moves and I know all your moves, so I'm frustrated. So if I'm going to ever lash out, it's going to be in a divisional game. And I think that's what had everything to do with it, the emotion of the game. Think about this. We went a quarter into the game. We done knocked their quarterback out. We go another quarter into the game. We done got their safety kicked out because he done got 2 penalties. He gone this is emotional warfare back and forth. We're getting late penalties. They getting penalties. It's not gonna be clean when you play these divisional games.
And not only that, just I feel like they feel like, man, we gave these guys our best shot and they still here.
Yeah, they still here.
I mean, they still in the thick of things.
And they done turned the ball over.
You see what I'm saying?
5 times.
These guys, they done turned the ball over 5 times. We done
really 6, because if you got count that fourth down that we went for, and didn't get
exactly.
Crazy.
These guys have had the big run by Barkley, and they still here.
Yeah,
they can't die.
Yeah, Barkley had 104 yards in the first half.
First quarter.
Half, man. That's crazy.
And then to have such little production moving on to the game. I mean, really just an impressive performance. All right. So now we're on to the final drive, and that's going to be our focus for the Risk It for the Biscuit section, presented by Marsh McLennan, your partner in risk and people strategies. Really, again, we appreciate them being a sponsor. And, business insurance, they got you.
They got you.
Employee health benefits, they got you. Private client services, they got you.
I need to check with them.
And
I'm a private client.
And you know who else has you? Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Jaden Daniels is been really special in end of game scenarios.
I changed his name
to what?
Jedi 5.
When'd you do that?
He's in my radio show last night.
Last night on his show. I'm riding home, man. Look at this fool, man.
Jedi 5. Hey, listen. He's a Jedi. I have watched him move people with his mind. I have watched him. I have watched him play these Jedi mind tricks with defense. I have watched him be a little bit of Luke Skywalker and Mace Windu. I have watched him be the chosen one. He has something inside of him that says, no time is too big for me. I might be a rookie. I don't care. All right? 4th and 11. Watch me move the D-line. Watch me part this thing like the Red Sea.
It's too much.
It's like I'm being honest.
It's like you're cussing a wrestling promo.
You made up for being late.
All I'm saying is Jedi 5.
So this
is what I'm calling.
That leads us to our first risk it for the biscuit question. Do you risk it? The biscuit I'm talking about.
I want the biscuit.
Letting Jaden Daniels touch the ball last.
First of all,
like if you're the other team,
he's Brady-esque. Do not let him.
You are the team. You better not let him touch the ball.
Do not let him touch the ball.
You've seen it too many times this year
already.
already.
That's what I'm saying, Jed. That's why I call him Jedi 5. I've watched him the last drive of the game, and he's not shaky. He's not iffy. He's
so
just
confident.
He's just there.
Look, I saw a stat, so I can't take no credit for this. All season long, there has been 4 times when a team touched the ball last, and they end up that quarterback won the game. Twice by Jaden Daniels by himself, and then once by 2 other teams.
Pat Mahomes.
So he has beaten out the entire league when he's touching the ball last already.
And he the baby out the group.
Yeah.
And he the baby out. That's why I told you he's a Jedi.
And just to put a stat on this, he's got the most game-winning drives by a rookie quarterback in a season over the past 6 years. These are the players that have it. Kenny Pickett, random. Baker Mayfield have 4. Allen and Herbert and Jaden Daniels have 3.
Yeah.
So he is in, Josh Allen, Herbert, tremendous company in terms of the people that he's with.
His first year.
And again, the composure that he plays with is, it's off the charts.
Yeah, it's beyond his age.
You always know, too, after that game, and it's something that, we all did earlier, probably in our game by, when your game is over with, you go walk across the field and, dap everybody off. You watch all the guys who come dap him off. You got the A.J. Browns. Guys going out their way to say,
no, he's earning his respect.
So I saw the way A.J. Brown talked to him. I'm saying, see, that's a guy that's like, bro, you something else.
You the truth.
Know what I'm saying?
So, it ain't nothing. We know because we played, but it's nothing like gaining respect of your peers. In every game, he's gaining. Every time I see somebody go to the podium, they like, hey, man, they got them something over there with that 5 over there, with that Jedi 5. They got them something.
Think about the meeting on Monday. Like your Wednesday when they do the roster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, they got this receiver. They got this. They're for sure 5.
Hey, 5. Hey, this is where it starts and ends.
Right.
It starts and ends with this guy. Now, can we stop him on the ground? Can we stop him in the air? Can we stop his leadership? Can we stop his closing ability? To me, he's the ultimate closer right now. He closes games better. I'm literally at the restaurant yesterday watching the last drive. I turned to Jack and
where'd you do the show? Yeah. This is where he does his show. You do your show live.
Yeah, Craft House in Reston. Okay. And I turned to Jack and I say, hey, why did they just put the ball in this dude's hands? I was like, he's going to go win this game.
Talk about incredibly frustrating. If you're, I like football. I like offensive football. I like clean football. How mad are you if you are the Philadelphia Eagles? You run a choice with Devontae Smith. He kills Noah Monogany.
That was a hell of a route.
We all get killed. It was an amazing route.
Yeah.
Amazing route.
Yeah.
Noah's had a great year. Gets killed on that play. This is not an indictment of Noah in any way.
No. It happens.
It happens. He's a good route runner. He's good at this route. And then just stone hand drops the ball.
No. He tried to run.
Ball don't lie. The football guys told him, look, we done took something from these guys, and guess what? We gonna let you kill yourself. That's what happens. That's how the ball bounces, because they put those pass interferences on us, gave them guys a whole drive. A whole drive. Took them from one side of the field to the other side of the field. All they got was a field goal out of that.
83 penalty yards on that drive, by the way.
83 penalty yards.
Listen, that drive was only penalty yards.
That's
it
all
was nothing else. They were stopping the run on first and second down, and then pass interference.
And they just throwing it. They was throwing it up because they know you're going to get PI.
But guess what? The football gods are fair. This is what I know about them. They can be harsh, and they can be fair.
What is that from 300 with Xerxes?
They can be fair. And guess what? I got to say this, guys. I know everybody thinking like I'm thinking, but the football gods shine their life on us. That touchdown pass, we kind of got out of there a little early.
Oh, you talking about the right tackle? I don't think so. It was on time. It was on time.
I watched it in slow motion.
It was on time.
But if you it was
but all right tackles and left tackles are getting out of there quick.
It was on time.
Any 2-minute drive. Okay. Any 2-minute drive. If you go watch the Chiefs, watch Philly,
the Chiefs do it at a high level.
Lane Johnson is the biggest perpetrator of it in the NFL. He's really good at it. It happens. And again, this is one of those things where I know they're trying to make the rule better. They're trying to clean it up. In 2-minute drives, those officials don't care about that.
Yeah.
They're gassed, man. Yeah. They're trying to stay with the action. So, again.
I'm just saying, the football gods are fair. They give and they take.
They give and they take. But, to drop that ball and then kick the field goal, and it was 5 points. There was 1:51 left. I was like, we have one timeout. I was like, what? And then you get I'm sorry, this is a Commanders podcast, but then you get a penalty on the kickoff.
Yeah. On the kickoff.
After a return.
Yeah.
So we start that drive at the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, sweet Jaden Daniels. Won't you give it to him again? Listen, when you got a quarterback as a defensive player, we're always on edge because we don't know what he's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Is he gonna run on us? Is he gonna throw on us? Is he gonna get the ball out quick? Even on one play that got busted, I think he tried to check to a screen.
Yeah.
And he faked the screen and he was like, and nobody's there, and he just took off running.
Yeah.
Dude,
3 yards.
These are the plays that we can't get back. And you only get that if you got the legs that he got.
Yeah, really tremendous. Again, Philly helps you out there, but you got to execute. And I will say this year, Jayden has 4 TDs in the final 30 seconds and overtime. Most by any player since the merger.
That means the merger between the AFC and the NFC. That's what they got to understand. This is not the merger between
this is
mom and dad.
long time. So, that's an historic statistic.
Yeah, man.
4 TDs, the last 30 seconds, and overtime of a game.
It's ridiculous.
Think about how, this is one thing Dan said, and I have mad respect for Dan because I think this is a fantastic point. He's like, you can practice it. You can practice it. When I was in Atlanta with him, we practiced end of game scenario. We talked about end of game scenario.
We done done
but you got to go do it.
Yeah.
And when you got a guy
with ice water in his veins
that can go do it, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And again, some of this stuff might regress, whatever, but he just has shown an ability to make plays. When he's at his best, is
when we need him.
Yes.
Is when we need him.
Yes.
He's that quarterback that we're learning to lean on and say, you know what? We are never out of a game.
Yeah.
No matter how bad it starts, you can't start a game worse than we started yesterday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was texting with Jason. I was like, well.
No, I'm saying you cannot start a game, especially with a playoff team.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not. This is not being hyperbolic. That's maybe the best team in football right now.
No. That's what I'm saying.
And you give them 5. You give them 5 opportunities.
Opportunities, bro.
No, 6. Y'all keep
6.
forgetting the 4th and 1. Because that was at half field. I mean, that was at midfield right there.
It was.
Man, listen to me. Me and Tanner in the suite, we just sitting there like, oh.
I'm like, damn, bro. I hadn't forgot it, but I just went to mingling. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going. It's gonna be one of those type of games. And I'm gonna go ahead and start talking to everybody.
But they just kept on chopping wood.
Yeah.
They kept on chopping wood, and I gotta get a defense some props, man. Cleveland Farrell made some plays that were timed.
Great job. Tackles for losses. 4 sacks against that offensive line. In the second half, They were physical, aggressive, downhill. Bobby
ain't stopping that run.
Can't say nothing about Louisville either. That he showed he was going to the flat and backed into them, made that interception, and then he got that. What that was? That was a script sack or who that was?
I got one word. Maybe it's
Fowler.
Maybe it's two words with a hyphen in it. For Frankie Louisville in this Pro Bowl. I'm sorry. You
might be arguably defensive player of the year. He might be in a race. I mean,
I don't know because nobody's sticking their head out.
Yeah.
Because I think Aiden Hutchinson was going to be the lead dog, and he ended up getting hurt.
Some of those elite pass rushers,
you
like
your
Miles Garrett and stuff, like TJ Watt. Like those dudes, because their pass rushers are going to have an edge.
But they pass rush like 90% of the time, where he only does it 40% of the time.
Yeah. And his impact is huge.
Yeah, huge impact, and really just a fun player to watch because he plays with such energy and
so violent.
I mean, really, like he's the guy that. And we shouldn't be. I'm not applauding him for hurting somebody, but he lays the hit on Jayden.
I'm applauding him. This is a physical game, and we're meant to go out there and flick plays.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Listen, that changed the game.
I approve that message.
Listen, we play a physical sport that. Hurt or be hurt is kind of the mantra.
Good doggone well when you playing a good quarterback or a good player, and he goes out, you over there like,
yes, because the same screen guy can't do what he can do.
Here, guys, I'm trying to be politically correct.
No, you're right. You're politically correct.
Hey,
I'm not stopping you.
Hey, guess what?
You're absolutely
when
right.
you go to a restaurant and you ask for, I want a side, I want a main course of rice pilaf, all right? And I want a side of knock-knock, all right? And that's what he brought. And I love that. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, when I see them linebacker, when I see both of them sandwich him, I say either his shoulder is hurt, he can't see straight.
Bobby Impact did nothing. It was all four.
It was all Louisville.
It was all Louisville. Louisville hit him at the perfect timing because he was almost going down, and Louisville helmet and shoulder pad hit him right in his shoulder pad. Yeah. And that forced his head to kind of snap back on the ground.
Physical.
But when he got up, his eyes was cocked. Boy, he was looking like this. The official had to looking like, boy, did I see?
You can always tell when someone gets up.
It was very much like Ertz. The week before. It was very much
so I'm not laughing about
him but it's part of it.
Being hurt, but I'm just saying, like, that's one of the things about this game. And we've been on those teams where we play Michael Vick. When we got him limping in
anything
in one of them games, thank you, Lord. He ain't at full strength. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
man,
what
it's just one of those things.
And I thought Kenny Pickett came in and did a hell of a job.
Yeah, he came in and
the drop off wasn't there.
The back. He scored off the back.
Yeah, the drop off wasn't there when he came in. It just the threat of run wasn't there anymore.
Their ability to extend drives with him from the pocket just wasn't there, and that's tough. And again, so after this game, I think we're like a 92, 95% chance of making the playoffs, and that's leading us into the Atlanta Falcons game, which is win and you're in. And I don't know the exact percentage of them making the playoffs because Tampa Bay lost last night.
They still fighting.
They're still in it. They're in the mix, right? But if the Commanders win this game, in the show, and I think that as fans, as analysts, and as people that support this team, like, it's one of those things that you're like, man, like, how cool would this be? Year one, new owner. I mean, year two of the owner, but kind of with all his guys in the building. New quarterback, making the show.
Man, do you know we can win 12 games? We ain't won 12 games since Flow Model TVs.
Yeah.
12 games we have the ability to win. In a rookie year of a quarter, this is the floor, people. Yeah. This is the floor.
Yeah, I mean, this is
as bad as it get. All right, like, if you're not excited about this team right now, you need to check your pulse right now.
I know every season is something different, and you look at the opportunities, and I think this is, you take advantage of your opportunities, and I think this is what this team has done this year. Hey, we didn't expect what we see, and quite frankly, I'm not sure if they did, but they went out there and played the game. That's how you give yourself a chance. So with however this thing ends, you know what I mean? I just want these guys to understand and allow themselves to dictate where they go on, because I feel like that's what they've done. They showed that they're going to fight. And that's one of the things that stood out to me in that presser with Dan Quinn. He didn't praise them for winning.
Yeah.
He didn't praise how they won. He said, but what they showed me that they was going to, he showed
they're going to fight.
They fight.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. And and you could tell he's preaching that. You can tell he's telling every man that he put on his team, like, look, you're on this team because of this.
Yeah.
That dog you have. That dog mentality. And when those guys go out there and compete, he say, I want you to end up being able to show me that you're doing just what I thought of you. And that's what they did. They fought so well yesterday, they won the game.
Listen, my end of the risk it for the biscuit is this. What's the biggest play of the season so far? Because I was thinking to myself yesterday when I'm driving to my show, and I'm like, is it the Hail Mary? Was it this? Was it this last drive? Because I think this last drive, to me, is the biggest play of the year.
I mean, honestly, you could say the PBU by Noah Igbenogany is a bigger play than, like, they're all big because they all lead to wins and they're all doing stuff. And I think that's something that is crazy when you're playing close games. Like,
like you don't know which one is the biggest play. They all big, right?
Like, I think about the 4th and 11. Is that play bigger than any other play? Like, I mean, there's just been huge moments in this season perpetrated by Jaden Daniels. And so we got to keep it really tight because it's Christmas Day. Stuff to do. We got to bake off. We got to do. Let's keep this Atlanta preview nice and tight.
I can't speak to the bake off because I didn't bake anything.
Oh, you bought it?
No, I literally just made banana pudding because I meant to get up this morning and finish everything I was doing.
You won, Anna.
No, Anna just walked in, just gave a stink eye. But hey, real quick, okay, because you guys are here.
I was late.
We know you were late.
You see how he did
we know you were late.
And so, just to tell you now, I can't eat your banana pudding because I don't eat bananas because of the iodine in the banana. So, I'm allergic to iodine. You know I'm allergic to iodine. That's why I don't eat shrimp.
I didn't know that.
I'm finna say.
There's iodine in bananas? Why? I knew there was iodine in shrimp. There's iodine in bananas?
So the peel of the banana, there's iodine in it. So
but like you're peeling it off.
But it's in your damn banana, sitting there soaking up in the banana.
True?
I didn't even fact check Tanner. Because you always fact check me.
I was gonna do it. Jason's got it. Okay, let's go.
All I know, I throw up and break out just like I do with shrimp.
Sounds like you're allergic to
Yeah, stay away from it.
I care less what the hell it is.
Stay away from it.
Yeah, don't eat that. I'm gonna eat it though. Okay, so real quick, preview Atlanta. Obviously, Michael Penix Jr. started last week versus New York Giants. I went back, watched all the throws. Impressive.
Yeah.
He had 3 drops in the game.
I'm going to say it was kind of clean.
Yeah, and then interception was Kyle Pitts just handed the DB the ball.
What's up with Kyle Pitts as a tight end? Because you're a tight end, and he's damn near God's gift to the athletes.
I was talking to Tan about this. And
he can't break down?
All the stuff that makes tight ends good, like understanding space, being friendly to the football, using your frame, like knowing how to run a route.
Yeah.
Like when I run a slant, like this is the angle I need to take coming out. Like he just doesn't do that at a good level. Like he can run a go, he can run a post, he can run a corner.
He's more vertical than he is linear.
Right.
He can't stay in.
But like when you look at the guys that are good, like Tony Gonzalez, Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski's, but like they understand space.
Yeah, he don't. Yeah. So with that being said, that's telling me that he don't understand. The
timing of the
not
routes,
the timing, the zones, and this is
what he's seeing.
He don't understand how to read coverages because when you can run a go you don't have to do much. You can just know, I got to go, or I got to post because it's open. He don't understand how to get open when it's zone. You know what I mean? Because he's just running.
Yeah,
you see a guy, bro, sit down right here. He's just running.
He's just running, and he's taking. The other thing that drives me nuts is the angles. Like even on a seam, it's like you see that it's cover 2. Get your ass in here and protect this throw. And he just doesn't do it consistently enough. And so, like, when I was watching, like, even when Matt Ryan was a quarterback, I could see Matt's frustration with him because it's like, be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do.
Because it's year 3 now, right?
It is year 3 for him.
Supposed to have,
supposed to be there by now.
Things normally slow down by now.
Okay. Jason, we got some information here about bananas real quick on the update. Bananas contain a protein called chinaceae. I'm going to go with that.
UCLA?
Which is also found in kiwi and avocado. People with banana allergy may also react to these fruits. Latex may also trigger a banana allergy, as the rubber tree used to make latex contains chinaceae.
Yeah.
Bananas contain very little iodine, with less than 0.5 micrograms per 100 grams.
I don't know what it is then, boy, but I ain't eating it.
It's that chililinga seed.
Hey, it's one thing when we fact check Fred because his ass always lying. But to fact check and say, well, Tanner, you lying, so you gotta eat it.
No.
I know Jason's not trying to do that. But I'm just saying, even with me being wrong about the iodine, I ain't.
You're allergic. You're allergic to bananas.
There's something. There's something in it.
It's not the.
It's so funny how y'all always fact check me. I don't care what it is.
Tanner's allergic to bananas. It's not because of the iodine.
Yeah, it's not the iodine.
Whatever it is,
that's what we found out. It's not the iodine. So thank you for that, Jason.
I'm allergic to Bluefoot because he a hater.
Well, he deserves to hate a little bit today.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll say this too. Okay, so Michael Penix actually looked pretty solid in his first outing. Rookie quarterback, can you get him covered up? They do have a lot of weapons, and for
in every position.
For everything negative I just said about Kyle Pitts, Drake London is the opposite.
Yeah.
He understands space, contested catch guy, can run a choice.
Red zone, whatever
slot.
he can do. Yeah.
He is to me is borderline of being in that conversation of like a borderline.
He reminds me, I call him Mike Evans Jr.
Yeah, but he's honestly he's more sudden. I'm
just saying, like he's a little quicker than Mike. But I just he doesn't get the opportunity. That's why I didn't play wide receiver because this dude stay open.
Yeah,
but they never come into his 7-11. They never come into it.
So to me, he's like he's probably top 10, but he's almost in that top 5 convo. He's like one of those guys like maybe next year.
No, is he one of them guys is how many opportunities I get to show you that I can be
maybe.
top 5?
Well, shit, he should be getting a lot soon. I mean,
but I'm sure Penny's gonna say I'm going to.
Tell him, hey, wake up a sleeping giant.
They got Darnell Mooney, crazy explosive, Raymond McLeod, Bijan Robinson. Their offensive line's playing really good. It's going to be a really interesting matchup for Joe Witt Jr. Pilling these people up.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, too.
And Penix actually ran a couple of times yesterday.
He ran a 4.5 at the combine.
Yeah, I've been saying, like, you don't think Michael Penix and you don't think running.
He had 2 knee injuries.
So. But he ran yesterday that really shocked me, impressed me.
Well, he going to have to run when them guys coming up the field on him because you got.
I can say the pass rush is playing well. This is what I can say. They're rushing as a group.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get these independent contractors that, I'm a 15-sack guy. I'm going to go out to the passer, and they don't rush as a team. So that's what I see with Dallas a lot of independent rushers.
Yeah.
What we're doing good is we're rushing good as a group. And I think that everybody's kind of eating off of that.
Yeah. 100%. So obviously it'll be interesting because Bijan Robinson is a special runner, man.
Damn,
he reminds me of like prime Christian McCaffrey, that kind of slinky one cut. You can't tackle me.
He might be even more dynamic.
But I can catch the ball. But but think about Christian McCaffrey in Carolina.
Yeah.
Like when he was just absolutely.
Just get me 100 rushes and 100 passes. I want it all.
Yeah. Right. So again, that's going to be an interesting matchup. Then defensively, they've got the 2 good safeties. Their pass rush is okay, but they do some complex stuff defensively.
But this game is kind of personal to me.
Why?
Because my ex-wife left the house and on the way out. She said, and by the way, I'm a Falcon fan. I've been a Falcon fan the whole time.
The whole time?
So me and her have this theme about this Falcons game, and I talked to her 2 days ago about,
she said something about it.
This Falcons game. She like, how y'all gonna beat us? And I was like, y'all stink. All right, let's be honest.
So that conversation wasn't sweet like that.
No, it is. I can say this. Me and my wife, we are very much cool. Okay. We are very much good friends. Yeah. That's what it is. But at the end of the day, we got to beat these Falcons, man. Yeah. We got to beat these Falcons.
We got to beat them. When we're in, I can't wait to watch this game. And now, for the thing that you've all been waiting for, at least I've been waiting for, is the bake-off, the Christmas bake-off.
I wasn't here. I didn't do what I had to do last night.
Fred with his Wegman special.
I dropped the ball.
You know what? I can say
Anna
this.
Anna, he was
also,
scared.
hi, everyone.
No, it was a long.
Thanks for having me on. I'm honored.
It was a long night for me.
Yeah, we knew it. We knew you should.
Even longer morning.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I didn't get the things I need.
First of all, I want to ask you, how could it be a long night? It's so freaking cold outside. It ain't nobody outside, bro. People going home.
He wasn't outside. I'll tell you that right now.
He ain't leaving.
He was not outside.
I'll tell you that much.
I didn't need to be outside, Taylor.
That guy was not outside.
Well, my thing is he on here, Jason, too? Sean?
Oh yeah. Sean
Sean's
is also here.
I'm the.
Well, Sean already get a dude. Sean already gonna tell Fred that he win.
I know. I am actually.
Damn, Fred.
I've celebrated several Christmases with Fred and Thanksgiving, so
really?
I'm actually a fan of his cooking.
Yeah. He can cook.
I got one
too.
For for him to not bring something is disappointing. Because Fred normally start cooking 2 days before.
And that's what I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. Fred has been excellent in the bake-offs, and so this is a little disappointing. But we know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I apologize, people.
If it's any consolation.
Apparently,
let the fans down,
he talked so much junk last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna bring.
I talk a lot of trash to
I'm
Anna.
gonna bring my devil
I know.
strawberry cake.
Yeah, I was gonna bring the devil
So
scrubber.
much trash to me, and I said, "Are you sure we shouldn't just make it one thing?" And you were like, "No, let's do 2."
Yeah.
So I was like, I felt like I was in Santa's workshop on Saturday, just cooking and baking and crafting and doing all my things. And I was like, he better show up.
No.
And so when you almost didn't show up today, I was like,
Anna was pissed.
why was I doing all of that?
Anna, so tell us what Fred made banana pudding.
And it's amazing. If you guys haven't had it, I've had it a few times before, and I was afraid he was going to bring this because this is probably his strongest dessert he has in the arsenal.
I brought it because it's easy to make and it takes no time.
So what did you bake?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I ain't
baked 2
waiting.
things.
Two
First,
things.
I baked, my theme was raspberry, which according to Sean, I shouldn't have done.
No. I just said.
He asked if I
said
foraged
you
for
can do
them.
raspberry, but you got to know your audience. Christmas, black people don't eat raspberry.
Thank you.
So
We don't eat
but
raspberry and we don't drink eggnog.
But I
I
told him.
almost made an eggnog cake, and I
But-
knew,
Oh,
I
Lord.
knew I
love
shouldn't have done
eggnog
that.
cake, and I ain't gonna lie to you. But I told Anna, I was like, Anna, you got to Google your audience now, But she would have been the first to cross the Colorado River because she can forage for
Riding up moose elk.
So I made raspberry.
So are y'all tasting the chocolate cake first?
So I made raspberry thumbprint cookies, and then I made a chocolate raspberry cake, which I've had it, and it's been. I don't want to downplay this one, but I've had it, and it's been better
Than this?
This one, yeah.
So I'm gonna say this: first bite, cake only, a little bit dry.
Little
Yeah,
dry.
I agree.
When you get the raspberry in there,
Then it wet up.
it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. But so again,
But it was a little
if we're
dry.
being critical,
but
we're
I
giving
agree.
constructive
I
I
agree.
taste a little Duncan Hines in here.
What is that?
Okay, actually, fight me, Fred. I'll fight you. This is crazy. This is crazy considering you brought one dessert. I feel like you're not allowed to be critical. You didn't even bake all the desserts.
Not Freddie Crocker.
This cookie's good though.
Thank
It's
you.
really good. I mean, the cake's
so
good too.
The cookie was nice touch. I will say the cake.
Yeah.
It's not too sweet though, so that people can use it as
look.
it's a healthy option.
Healthy option.
Only he
There's
would say
Greek
that.
yogurt in it.
See, I told you what she put in that Greek yogurt.
There's Greek yogurt in it.
Okay.
That
The Greek
cookie's-
yogurt
that
would
cookie's
dried it
bomb.
up.
Y'all
You
know
like
I'm
that?
real.
I love that cookie.
Okay,
Y'all know
great.
I'm real
I have
picky.
Hey, you
lots
should
of them.
substitute
Yeah, what
that
do you
Greek
eat?
yogurt for
I don't even know. It was just like a part of the
put
recipe.
pudding in there. Not
Well,
not
I
Greek
have that
yogurt.
as well.
Oh,
That's
that
also
would
in
be-
there.
Add pudding in there and not
That'd be
Uh-huh.
elite.
yeah.
That's also
put chocolate
there
pudding
is
in
there's
there.
chocolate pudding in it.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
that cookie fire.
Thank
No,
you.
she wanted to do cookies. She fought for the cookie. Like,
Yeah, because
okay.
I'm like that's
Look,
my
cake
bread
is
and
a little
butter.
dry, but when you get to the icing,
Yeah, icing's amazing.
Thank you.
so at the end of the day, you won anyway.
by default,
I can't even taste this damn.
I was telling
you can't
every-
eat the
I
banana
can't eat
pudding.
the banana
I was
pudding.
telling everybody.
Nah, I'm- you
it's
know.
funny that Fred and Forfeit both start with F.
Oh wow.
So does fortune.
Oh,
Fortunately,
Oh, damn, Fred.
well,
That's good.
with the
No,
banana
it's so
pudding,
good.
I'm
It's
behind-
it makes you want to
amazing.
cry.
I'm be honest with you, Anna. Banana pudding.
I know it's.
But we got fact check if he bought it or
No, he definitely made
No,
it.
I don't buy it.
He's
But
made
also,
this.
like,
It's really good.
You just put pudding in here? You didn't bake? Yeah, you just put cookie. You put pre-made. Okay, let's just talk through this.
Yeah,
This
Mr.
is a
Duncan
pre-made
Hines.
cookie
Okay.
I bought that
that
cookie.
you put on top of it, and then you put bananas that you cut up, which you didn't bake, and then you just put pudding. Did you make the pudding?
Yeah, I got to make the pudding.
You just
Well,
stirred
well,
it.
well,
You got to mix the
Now,
pudding.
that question. Did you make the pudding? Yes,
Yes,
or no?
I made the pudding.
Is it from a
You
pack?
made the pudding.
it from a
scratch?
pack?
I made the pudding from scratch. You taste that banana in that pudding.
Sean, I don't.
When did you make the pudding?
Yeah, when did you make the pudding? Hey, it's not a question. listen.
That was elite.
Yesterday. So you made the pudding yesterday.
But
So it's but you said you was a little nervous because you did you make the pudding yesterday?
No,
yes
the
or
one thing about banana pudding, it's the fastest dessert you can make. It's not very hard to make.
Did you make it this morning?
No, I made it yesterday.
Wait, why,
You just said you were late. So there's question
No,
right now.
I made the pudding, put the pudding in the refrigerator. This is how the night started for me. All right, sponsored by Basil Hayden. All right, it went downhill after I made the banana pudding. All right,
that's what I should get you for
What
Christmas.
you use the pudding for?
Carlos Rogers, John Moran.
You're putting it.
I had it on my chest, sitting in the living room, just rubbing it on my chest.
With your basil head.
The pudding. So wait a minute. So if the pudding is homemade,
I made it from scratch.
then that's kind of.
But it doesn't.
I make a banana cream.
Okay.
Are
pudding.
you questioning the cookies though?
No. So let me just say
No, the
this.
cookies are bought from the store.
No,
Bought
what are
'em.
you
didn't
talking?
bake them. Let me just say this.
Was I supposed to break shortbread cookies?
That's a bake. You're baking.
No, I bought Chessman.
Did you bake
cookies.
anything?
You know what?
Oh.
Chessman cookies.
It's over.
I bought.
Did you bake anything?
Oh, thank you.
I will say
almost
this.
feel like bad. I feel a little bad. This doesn't feel like a fair win.
There's a little question around it. Off a taste.
all right.
This is what happened.
I love how
was
Sean's
wrong.
plate is completely
No,
clean.
I cryo baked them. Freeze baked them. Not heat. Cryo baked.
Fred, I just got a question. Your timeline doesn't make any sense.
I cryo baked them.
I know you had to work. I know you had to work the post
He
game
done
show
lied.
yesterday.
He done lied already. I ain't want him to bring it up. I don't want to put him on air. He done lied already.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna
Guys,
leave
this
my
doesn't
dog
even feel
alone.
like a fair win. Like I feel like, yeah,
your
that's not
cookies-
fair.
your cookies-
toenail.
And
Your
now
cookies-
Fred's gonna say this. Like last time, I don't know if you guys know this, but last time I came on the show for a bake-off, afterwards Fred said everybody said my cake won because they were trying to be nice to me.
Actually, your cake was better.
Thank you. That was nice.
Okay.
Okay,
We
well
believe
now
that.
this time,
No,
Fred
her
just
cake
didn't
was-
try hard enough.
So
now
Well, I
I
don't
win
think it
again.
didn't try. I think it was a great dessert. It's just a matter of there's some
Technicality.
some conspiracy around.
He bought
timing.
the bananas and he bought the cookies. And
I'm
he bought the
supposed to
pudding.
buy
And
them.
he mixed it. You're supposed to make those things. Anyway, so what I will
Am
say.
I now 2-0?
What I will say, you are 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
No.
So sorry.
So this has been a really fun bake-off. I've really enjoyed
Thank
this.
you for competing,
Especially when he
Fred.
talked all that. You know what? I ain't even gonna say it.
But
Talked all that junk
But
last
the
week.
disappointing thing is he actually can bake.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what's disappointing about
He's
the
made
guy.
some of the.
I
so-
told y'all it was a long night.
Hey, Sean, we just
Have y'all
talked this.
seen Game of Thrones? A long night.
You got to play the game, right?
Okay.
You got to play the game. Mm-hmm.
Just
he
because
came out.
Just because you got the skills, you still got to go show out there.
Got
and
to play
show
the
up.
game.
He
And
didn't show
play
up.
He didn't
That
show
banana
up.
pudding banging. You can't say it ain't.
It might be, but it's all bought from the
I
store.
wouldn't even know.
I could make
There's
that.
so much controversy around it.
It's
That's
supposed to be like nobody goes home and say, "I'm making banana pudding." By the way, I'm baking the cookies to make it.
But there's controversy on the timing of the pudding. That's where the controversy is.
That's really.
I made the pudding last night.
Fred, you were at the post game show until when do you get off the post game?
About
like 7:30.
Yeah.
And then you go home.
And then that's when
You-
things
and
start
I
to
know
go
you-
down.
and I know you
I
didn't
don't
go
think he
home.
made it home that
I
early.
know you didn't go
Things
home.
start to go downhill right about this time.
Before we get Fred in trouble, and before we give him another alcohol sponsorship, just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Congratulations to Anna. We appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And please make sure you like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And that's going to do it for today's show.
And Anna cake was not that good.
We out.